Marjorie Taylor Greene is now exacting retribution against Donald Trump following the disclosure of no fewer than 3 million pages from the Epstein documentation, which prove catastrophic for Donald Trump and various right-wing billionaires within his circle. Our belief remains that the Justice Department continues to suppress at minimum another 3 million pages from the Epstein archive. However, the 3 million pages now public, released due to mounting public demands, have proven disastrous for Donald Trump and his administration. Marjorie Taylor Greene has now shared the following statement. Based on documents that appeared, then vanished, I'd estimate the chances increased regarding strikes on Iran. After all, it's Friday. She references these files, which surfaced briefly before being removed. The BNC News 24 network initially published these files publicly. We were first to report that the Trump administration scrubbed these documents. Following public outcry after we revealed the deletion, they restored them later that same day. You can access the documentation on our Substack at meetplus.com. Visit now to review it. Here's our earlier post from today. The latest Epstein Files release contains multiple accusations leveled at Donald Trump and associates. Examining some of these accusations reveals their disturbing nature. One states, an unidentified female acquaintance reported being coerced into performing oral sex on President Trump roughly 35 years ago in New Jersey. This acquaintance informed Alexis she was around 13 to 14 years of age when this incident occurred and allegedly bit President Trump during the act. The acquaintance was reportedly struck in the face following her laughter about biting President Trump. She claimed Epstein also abused her. Another individual, Jane Doe. These remain allegations, understand. I'm not claiming verification, but they exist within the files. These are accusations, verified or unverified, which the DOJ initially deleted, then republished. Jane Doe stated she knows another Jane Doe, who served as Epstein's personal assistant in Florida from 1986 through 1991 or 1992. This acquaintance disclosed names of various Epstein party attendees, including Bill Clinton and Donald Trump. Next entry. At 16, while pursuing modeling, Caller attended 8 gatherings at Epstein's New York property. During one event, Caller reported sexual assault by Epstein. Then it notes, on a separate occasion, 2 twin brothers, she claimed, enticed her. And there's this email here. Donald Trump, the president, hosted events at Mar-a-Lago designated as girls. Jeffrey Epstein would transport the minors in, and Trump would sell them off. These accusations assert he physically measured the children's vulvas and vaginas by inserting, it's truly horrifying material here. You can access them on musplus.com. And then there's another email here transmitted between FBI personnel. And these are FBI agent communications to fellow FBI agents containing the following accusations. And it states, subject concerning Epstein's cellmate questioning. So these relate to cellmate questioning. Greetings. Please review below for overviews. And this originates from cellmate questioning. And here's what was stated regarding Donald Trump. Jane Doe indicated Epstein introduced her to Trump, who then forced her head toward his exposed penis, which she subsequently bit. Trump then punched her head and expelled her. Another entry, another accusation. Jane Doe recalls Epstein introducing her to Trump, stating, "This is a good one, right?" And Trump replied, "Yes." Additionally, within these released files, I'll open it here, what's termed an FBI 302 document. This represents a witness questioning by FBI personnel. Here's what it states. Jane Doe never romantically involved with Donald Trump. Maxwell brought Jane Doe to a gathering in New York. Maxwell appeared extremely enthusiastic that numerous impressive men would be there for Jane Doe to encounter. Jane Doe sensed that Maxwell showcased her and provided a summary of various individuals' achievements, comparable to a resume. Maxwell introduced Jane Doe to Trump, and they conversed for roughly 20 minutes. Jane Doe received an invitation to Mar-a-Lago, where Trump provided a tour with Epstein and Maxwell attending. Nothing transpired between Jane Doe and Trump. From Maxwell's comments, it became obvious that certain individuals were accessible. Maxwell stated things like, "Oh, I believe he's attracted to you. Aren't you fortunate? This is wonderful." An article appeared featuring Jane Doe and Trump. Jane Doe believed she was approximately 22 years old. Jane Doe received recommendations on wardrobe choices. Maxwell commented things like, "Oh, he'll appreciate that. He won't like that." It was arranged very similarly to how Maxwell introduced others to Epstein. And then, Jane Doe expressed she feared Maxwell. She perceived Maxwell as sociopathic, and she worried Maxwell could murder her if Maxwell avoided conviction. More from Marjorie Taylor Greene here. She shared this video of herself, revealing the following bombshells concerning Trump, and also stating that she believed that within the files, it would demonstrate that Epstein maintained connections to the Mossad in Israel. Here, watch this segment. Let's discuss the Epstein files. The genuine information hasn't emerged. We've been fed countless falsehoods on this. There were merely 4 Republicans, 4 of us who genuinely battled to secure their release, signed the discharge petition, opposed the White House, and we all faced threats. And you witnessed what occurred to me. Eventually, Donald Trump labeled me a traitor. He informed me that his associates would suffer harm, and to me, I'm thinking, I cannot understand why you'd befriend anyone who would commit this against women and teenage girls. The Epstein files must be released. They're violating the law, the legislation that Donald Trump authorized. And so, if the administration refuses to release everything, I cannot fathom why anyone would support Republicans. For me, it's like a boundary line, and I believe it's similar for many individuals. Why do you believe they're concealing them? I believe it's because it shields some of the wealthiest, most powerful individuals. I believe we understand Jeffrey Epstein was certainly some form of component of the intelligence apparatus. I believe we understand he was collaborating with Israel. He was working intimately with Israel, the former Israeli Prime Minister. And I believe these are the corrupt elements of government and the controlling powers that they prefer the American public remain ignorant about. Regrettably, I doubt it'll emerge. And we discovered in the released files the reality that Epstein was emailing the former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, mentioning that Epstein held a meeting with Qatar's leadership, and if Ehud Barak could inform them. And then Epstein included a smile face emoji that he wasn't a member of the Mossad. And then he added, like, smiley face emoji, like he was being ironic. So Marjorie Taylor Greene is achieving her ultimate retribution on Donald Trump presently, and discussing the wider network here. I mean, examine this interaction, as Sarah Longwell documents. where Epstein seems to be instructing Steve Bannon on terminology that enables Trump to appear in complete authority. This surfaces at different points throughout the released files. Epstein's identity is redacted in one, and Bannon seems to appear in another. So the redactions were executed very carelessly here. Discussing the Trump network here, Elon Musk transmitted the following in an actual email to Epstein. "Which day night will feature the wildest gathering on your island?" This is an authentic email from Elon Musk to Jeffrey Epstein. "Which day night will feature the wildest gathering on your island?" So, recall, Elon Musk claimed, "Oh, I would never attend that. I would never attend that." Also, you have this post by Elon Musk addressing claims that Jeffrey Epstein visited SpaceX. Seems to be false. Back on July 4th of 2020, Elon Musk writes, "To our knowledge, he never visited SpaceX." But we have this email here of Jeffrey Epstein telling Elon Musk, "Thanks for the visit. You would have enjoyed Christmas." And then Elon Musk responds, "I see." Smiley face emoji there. And then there's much more here in a 2012 email thread. Kimball Musk, the brother of Elon Musk, was cautioned against harming Jeffrey Epstein's girl, named as Jennifer. And Kimball responds by confirming and says he's having a good time with her. Or here you have Epstein communicating to the New York Giants football team proprietor, Steve Tisch, about arranging him with a girl, then requesting him to join him on a walk with Jets proprietor Woody Johnson, right there. And they're discussing a young Ukrainian girl, and whether she's a professional or a civilian, and whether she's a working girl. In another email, Epstein contacted Tisch after he'd met with one of the women. "Update just in. You performed very well. She desires to attend the play. She's somewhat concerned by the age gap, but proceeds slowly. I will attempt to persuade her against returning to Ukraine, leaving her emotional at work. Also, I'll create another video on this." Howard Lutnick, who holds high position, is the Commerce Secretary. He's liked throughout these files, incidentally, and, as Sarah Longwell states, appears like the Trump administration has selected their scapegoat. You have Howard Lutnick and Epstein requesting each other's guidance on who a nanny is, a resume for Lutnick's nanny. There are communications about Lutnick visiting the island. There's communications about Epstein providing $50,000 for an honor that Lutnick obtained. So, appears presently, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene having the final victory, and she's announcing her ultimate revenge of Donald.